Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the latest episode of WWE SmackDown, Nick Aldis became the latest victim of an RKO when Randy Orton struck the national treasure in the middle of the ring. This unfolded when Aldis initially invited Kevin Owens into the ring to announce the heartbreaking news of his real-life injury, leading to his match against Orton getting cancelled. With this, the Legend Killer is now out of the WrestleMania card, which doesn't suit the Viper well. This resulted in Orton hitting an RKO on Nick Aldis and eventually leaving the ring. Attacking the authority figure might lead to the Legend Killer facing consequences. However, to prevent such a situation in the near future, the SmackDown general manager might bring former WWE star Rusev back to the company after almost 5 years as his bodyguard. For those unaware, the latest reports have disclosed that the Bulgarian Brute is expected to soon make his return to the sports entertainment juggernaut. Given the current situation of the national treasure, he might bring Rusev back to the company in the role of his personal bodyguard. The physicality of the former United States champion will help him protect Aldis. Additionally, this new role will also give Rusev a fresh start to his WWE career and eventually help him have a bigger impact upon his return. The last time the former AEW star wrestled in the Stamford-based promotion was on the February 17, 2020 episode of Raw. It will be intriguing to see how Triple H will book the former U.S. champion upon his potential return to World Wrestling Entertainment. In the latest episode of the Blue Brand, some major matches were added to the card of WrestleMania 41. In a backstage segment, Nick Aldis confirmed that next week on SmackDown, a gauntlet match would take place with the winner clashing against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania 41. Besides this, Jacob Fatu and Law Knight are set to battle for the United States Championship. This match was announced after Braun Strowman suffered a clean loss against the Samoan Werewolf, leading to Jacob becoming the #1 contender. Additionally, the Jade Cargill and Naomi match is now also part of the shows. It remains to see how the forthcoming episode of WWE SmackDown will unfold under Nick Aldis' leadership. The return of the fallen hero, Nick Aldis and the ex-WWE Champions Rebirth Act 1. The stage is set. The wrestling world is abuzz. Nick Aldis, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and one of the most respected and calculated competitors in the business, is making waves in the independent circuit. Known for his cerebral approach to the sport and his old-school mentality, Aldis has always been one step ahead of his opponents. But recently, something has changed. His demeanor has become darker, more focused, as if a new strategy is forming in his mind. Randy Orton, the Viper, has been dominating WWE for years. However, Orton's arrogance and vicious streak have led him to burn bridges with several colleagues and former champions alike. One name that Orton had made a point of disrespecting was a former WWE champion who vanished from the scene 5 years ago. A man who once carried the company on his shoulders, but had seemingly disappeared into obscurity after a series of personal and professional challenges. That man is John Morrison. After a tumultuous career in WWE, which saw Morrison being treated as a mid-card star despite his undeniable talents, he eventually left the company under complicated circumstances. He ventured into other promotions, exploring other projects and creative endeavors. Yet fans always felt that Morrison had more to offer, that his time in the spotlight was prematurely cut short. But the news from Aldis is stunning. John Morrison is returning. Act 2. Aldis' plot unfolds. Nick Aldis, once known for his clean-cut image and wrestling excellence, is now presenting himself as a mastermind, and he has a grand plan. His most shocking announcement is that he has recruited Morrison, but not in the role anyone expects. Aldis isn't bringing Morrison back as a competitor. No, Aldis has a more devious strategy in mind. John Morrison has agreed to return to the world of professional wrestling, but as Nick Aldis' bodyguard. Aldis, being the brilliant tactician that he is, recognizes that sometimes power comes not from in-ring dominance, but from the ability to manipulate and control situations. With Randy Orton becoming more unhinged and dangerous by the day, Aldis knows that the only way to survive in this chaotic landscape is with someone like Morrison, someone who can deliver swift justice and intimidation, but who also knows the value of the spotlight. Morrison, a man who has always walked his own path, has agreed to be Aldis' bodyguard not because he's out of shape or incapable of competing, but because he believes in Aldis' vision. Morrison has grown disillusioned with the politics of the wrestling industry and is ready to take control of his own destiny in a way that no one expected. However, Morrison's return does not come without complications. When he first appears alongside Aldis in a major promotion, the fans and wrestlers alike are stunned. Many view Morrison as a once heroic figure, a high flyer and daredevil who could do it all in the ring. His role as a bodyguard feels like a betrayal to those who still remember the days when Morrison was the man who could steal the show, whether it was in singles competition or as part of a tag team. But the more Aldis and Morrison speak in their joint interviews, the more it becomes clear that this is no ordinary partnership. Aldis explains that Morrison is not just his bodyguard. He is his weapon, a weapon designed to take out the likes of Randy Orton and anyone who dares challenge Aldis' dominance in the wrestling world. Act 3. Randy Orton's Challenge. The story takes a fiery turn when Randy Orton, who has already been the target of Aldis' verbal barbs and mind games, takes offense to the very idea of Morrison's return. Orton, ever the villain, begins taunting Morrison with personal attacks, reminding him of the man he used to be and suggesting that Morrison has sold out. Orton tells Morrison that he's nothing more than Aldis' hired muscle now, and that the old Morrison who once held the WWE Championship is dead. Morrison's patience is tested as Orton's insults begin to pile on. But it's clear that Aldis has a plan. He tells Morrison to stay calm and bide his time. Orton is making a mistake by underestimating them both, Aldis warns. But Orton is relentless, and his barbs grow sharper. He reminds Morrison of every bad decision he made during his WWE tenure, the injuries, the betrayals, and the missed opportunities. Orton tries to force Morrison back into the ring, but Aldis keeps his bodyguard by his side, making it clear that Morrison's time to compete will come on his terms. Finally, in a huge moment of tension, Orton and Aldis collide, first verbally, then physically. Orton challenges Aldis to a match, one that would decide the fate of Morrison's place in the wrestling world. Aldis, never one to back down from a challenge, agrees, but with a stipulation. Morrison will be in his corner, and if Aldis wins, Orton will have to acknowledge Morrison's return to prominence, not just as a bodyguard, but as a full-fledged competitor who can challenge Orton whenever he pleases. The stipulation is simple. If Aldis loses, Morrison must step away from the wrestling world once and for all. Act 4. The high-stakes match. The day of the match finally arrives, and the stakes are higher than ever. Orton enters the arena with his signature cockiness, while Aldis walks out with Morrison by his side, the duo a visual representation of the changing landscape of professional wrestling. The match is a hard-hitting contest. Orton, known for his methodical and brutal style, wastes no time in targeting Aldis' legs, hoping to neutralize his ability to out-wrestle him. Aldis is quick on his feet and counters most of Orton's moves, but the Viper's experience keeps him one step ahead. Morrison's presence is felt at ringside, his eyes never leaving Orton. Every time Orton looks in Morrison's direction, there's a sense of unease. The former WWE champion may be on the outside, but his mere presence throws Orton off his game. The tension builds as the match progresses, and Orton attempts to deliver an RKO, but Aldis counters it, sending Orton crashing into the turnbuckle. Aldis attempts a roll-up for the win, but Orton kicks out at 2. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as the two veterans continue to exchange blows, with Morrison watching intently. As the match nears its climax, Orton tries to take out Aldis with another RKO, but this time Morrison intervenes. The distraction is enough for Aldis to hit Orton with a massive rolling clothesline, followed by his signature finishing move, the King's Landing, a modified version of a Michinoku driver. Aldis pins Orton for the victory. Act 5. The aftermath and Morrison's rebirth. With the win, Aldis and Morrison have proven their point. But there's a price to pay for Orton's arrogance. As Aldis stands tall in the ring, Morrison steps forward, his bodyguard role officially over. The crowd erupts into cheers as Morrison declares that he is no longer Aldis Muscle. He is his own man once again. He announces that he will challenge Orton for the WWE Championship, staking his claim as a contender and making it clear that he's not just Aldis' right-hand man. He's a force to be reckoned with. Orton, seething with rage and embarrassment, retreats, knowing that Morrison has finally returned to the spotlight where he belongs. The story ends with Morrison looking back at Aldis, giving him a nod of respect. It's clear that this partnership has run its course, but Morrison's journey back to the top has only just begun. The wrestling world is about to witness the rebirth of a former champion, a man who had been sidelined, forgotten, but now has the chance to reclaim everything he once lost. As for Aldis, his role as a mastermind remains. He has proven once again that he's more than just a wrestler. He's a force of nature in the world of professional wrestling, and with his intelligence, alliances, and manipulations, Aldis has shown that he's a man who knows how to win, no matter the cost. This storyline weaves together elements of redemption, manipulation, and power, creating a compelling narrative that could propel both Nick Aldis and John Morrison back into the limelight. It uses the backdrop of Randy Orton's arrogance and manipulation to create a feud that has long-term consequences, establishing Morrison as a major player in the wrestling world once again. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.